Hello, Cancer. Welcome to your reading for the month of February or whenever this video might find you. I don't believe in coincidences, so I trust that you're going to receive these messages exactly when you're meant to. And I'm just getting us started with some energy from Palo Santo. Thank you, Sacred Palo Santo, for raising our energy, raising our vibration, raising the energy of our environment as well. If you're new here, hello and welcome. I'm Jenny. I'm a shamanic healer, a women's coach, a retreat host, a homesteader, and I love to do these videos here on YouTube and also on some of my other channels as well. If you are returning, welcome back. Thank you for being a part of our collective. You'll notice that the lighting's a little bit different today, and I'm going to show you why. I've got two reasons why the lighting is different. Reason number one and reason number two, these two sweet little babies right here that we hatched from eggs. If you're watching some of my shorts, you would have seen them. These two are Shovel and Bucket, and they are just the sweetest little chicks that I've ever seen in my life. Maybe I'm a little biased because like I said, hatched them myself, and I believe I changed the settings on the sound on the audio, but if you do hear some tweeting in the background, I mean, it's a super cute sound anyway, so I don't think that there's anything wrong with that. Cancer, we're going to get started here with your primary energy from the month for the month ahead from the Intuitive Life Coaching Oracle. This is by Kelly Smith. This is my favorite Oracle deck. I call it my OG deck because it is the deck that I've used the longest. I've used it the most. I use it in all my one-on-one sessions, at all my retreats, things like that. I also call it my tough love deck because it does exactly that. It calls us on our shit. It lets us know when we are standing in our own way. And that has been a bit of a theme this month with a lot of the signs. If you are a cross watcher, if you watch for your sun, your moon, your rising, your Venus, anywhere else in your chart, or I know some people even like to watch for their loved ones. And if you are a cross watcher, maybe you've noticed that there does seem to be a little bit of a theme this month for all of the signs. And I'm not surprised that we're all so closely connected because there's some really strong astrological events happening. And it's the beginning of the Chinese New Year this month as well. The year of the fire horse. Everyone's been talking about it. And there's new opportunities, forward momentum, growth, freedom, all sorts of things coming in. And I'm really picking up on an energy of manifestation. So yes, please do call us on our shit, because if we're standing in the way of our hopes, our wishes, our dreams, our desires, then yeah, let's get out of our own way, please and thank you, so we can co-create the life that we've been dreaming of with the universe. Cancer, your primary energy for the month ahead, we're looking at heavenly helpers. So you're not alone here, okay? Whether you are somebody who connects with your spirit guides and allies, your angels, your ancestors, or not, this card is coming in to say that you're not alone. Your spiritual team is guiding you. It feels like there is something going on. It feels like there is some sort of challenge that you're working through. It could be like what I'm picking up on is the energy of like not feeling fulfilled. So it's going to hit everyone different, right? Everyone who watches these videos has different circumstances that are going on in their life. So I always do say, take what resonates with you, leave what doesn't. There's going to be lots of messages in this reading. So even if this primary energy doesn't resonate, maybe some of the other messages do. But regardless, we all have different circumstances. And some of you might not be feeling fulfilled in your relationship. For some of you, it might be in your career. For some of you, it might be in your personal journey, your self-development journey, your spiritual journey, your health journey. It could be in your friendships. It could be in, what you do for work. It could be lots of different things, but whatever this challenge is, and I call this, if you're not sure what I'm talking about, like, I think everything's okay. Well, what is your keep me up at night problem? We all have one, and it changes, right? Like sometimes I am, thinking before I drift off to sleep about how I wish I had got a workout in. And sometimes I'm thinking about how I wish I had gotten along better with a certain person. And sometimes I wish, as I go to bed, that I had shown up better in my business or whatever the case may be. We all have something at any given time that, is bothering us. And this is saying that you're not alone. Your spirit guides and allies are working with you to help guide you through whatever this difficult situation is. And they're helping to guide you by taking the most aligned action. You might even notice signs and symbols and synchronicities. Maybe some of you are noticing, You smell your grandma's perfume all of a sudden. Well, that's not a coincidence. Like, where's your grandma? She's not here, but she's guiding you. Or maybe you see different angel numbers on license plates or buildings or on the clock or the odometer or whatever the case may be. Or, on the laptop right now, I'm seeing 55, and 55 is a number all about change, right? So maybe something in your life has to change. And Heavenly Helpers is card number 25. 2 + 5 is 7, and 7 is all about facing your fears. So Cancer, there might be something here for you to face your fears about as well. Taking aligned action is often quite scary. Making changes is often quite scary. So again, look at what area of your life would you consider to be the most difficult right now? Is it relationships? Is it romance? Is it career? Is it personal development? Is it extended family? Is it your home life? Maybe you want to move, or you've been thinking about moving. Whatever this difficult situation is, there's something for you to face your fear about surrounding this, and know that you're not alone, that your spirit guides and allies, your higher self, God, the universe, you're being guided here. Okay. And I think that's a beautiful message. Tell me, Spirit, what is the biggest challenge for the Cancer Collective for the month ahead, please? I like to look at the biggest challenge because knowledge is power, right? If we know what our biggest challenge is in the month ahead, then we can more easily move through that. So let's see, what is the biggest challenge for the Cancer Collective in the month ahead, please? Okay, we're getting speaking up. Now, again, you might watch for different placements in your chart. You might be watching for your sun, your moon, your rising, your Venus, anywhere else. And the speaking up card, it came up for Gemini in the challenge position as well. So I'd be curious if you have any Gemini placements. If you're not familiar with your chart, personally, I use the Pattern app. I'm not affiliated with them in any way, shape, or form. I just really like the app. So the Pattern app shows you, so it's called The Pattern. It shows you where your sun sign is, your moon sign, your rising, all the different placements, actually, all the different houses, everything. You don't have to know a lot about astrology to know the different placements in your chart. But I'm curious if you do have Gemini, because if you have a lot of Gemini and a lot of Cancer in your chart, then what this is saying is, like, when Spirit gives you the same message more than once, that's like a great big exclamation mark at the end of the message. And the message is, pay attention. And what is your biggest challenge? It's speaking up. So standing in your light and speaking your truth. So this can go one of two ways for you, Cancer. For some of you, it's like you have something that needs to be said and you haven't been saying it. Maybe there's a new boundary that needs to be made with a person. Maybe I got with this challenge that it could be a relationship. Maybe some of you are having relationship struggles. Not only romantic, but this could be even like parents, siblings, friends, platonic relationships. This speaking up card is saying, like, it's time for you to stand in your light and speak your truth. Those who are meant to be in your life will always rise up to meet your boundaries. When you have something to share, those who really, truly care about you, they're going to, of course, show up as their best, and their best might be different from your best, right? Depending on their emotional intelligence, they might be able to validate you. And the thing here is that we don't need external validation. If they can't validate us, that's okay, but you still need to stand in your truth and speak your truth and speak from the heart. For some of you, Cancer, I feel like this could be speaking up and standing in your light and speaking your truth is saying, don't be so reactive. You want to respond rather than react. We're all on a karmic journey. I watch a lot of tarot readers, and there's one that always says that we're all on a karmic journey, and it's so true. When we show up in our wound energy, we're often left with guilt and shame for the way that we showed up. When we react rather than respond, then we are left to deal with the aftermath of that. We are left to deal with the, oh my gosh, I can't believe that I said that. I can't believe I did that. Oh. Well, all we can do is control ourselves. And this is saying to show up as your best. Stand in your light. That's what I'm really focusing on in this card. Stand in your light and speak your truth. Speak from the heart. I shared with Gemini as well that one of my mentors a long time ago taught me how to activate our chakras. When we have something important to say and it feels uncomfortable, some of us have blocked throat chakras, right? Maybe we weren't allowed to speak our truth when we were young. We would get scolded, or we were taught that children were to be seen and not heard, or somebody didn't believe us when we shared our truth, or whatever the case may be. There's a wound here that's associated with you feeling like you can't speak up, like you can't speak your truth, you can't stand in your light and speak from the heart. So you can always activate your chakra before you have to have some important conversations or uncomfortable conversations. And how do you do that? You just take your left ring finger and you're going to tap in the shape of a figure 8. You're going to tap in an infinity symbol. And you can do this on any one of your chakras. It's nice too to activate your third eye chakra when you have something important to say, or your heart chakra specifically, because this card is saying your soul is guiding you to stand in your light and speak your truth. So that's showing up as your biggest challenge for the month ahead. So Cancer, sometimes when you have something really important to say or an uncomfortable conversation to have, it can be really helpful to write it down first before you actually go in and say it. That can help give you a lot of clarity. So you know if you're speaking from the heart, you're standing in your truth, or you know if you're speaking from your wound energy. What will help the Cancer Collective to move through this challenge of speaking their truth and standing in their light? What will help Cancer move through this challenge with ease and grace? Self-love. You get self-love. And that makes perfect sense. We're more likely to show up as our highest self, show up as our best when we have overfilled our cup, right? Funny that my throat chakra is getting a little activated as you got the speaking up card. So the self-love card is going to help you stand in your truth, stand in your light, speak from the heart. Self-love is not quite what you might think it is, though. Like, self-love isn't just going and getting your hair and your nails done. Self-love isn't going for a tan. I don't like tanning, by the way. Self-love is more like treating yourself like you would treat a little child that you love. If you were in the care of a child, if you're a parent, this is going to be easy for you to resonate with. If you're not a parent, I want you to think about some young person in your life that you love. Maybe you're an auntie or an uncle, maybe your best friend's kids or your neighbor's kids. If those children were in your care for, let's say, a week, what would you do during that week? You would make sure that they got enough sleep every night, right? You know that's so important. Do you make sure that you get enough sleep? You would make sure that they got enough water. Like, every time you leave the house, you're bringing a bottle of water with you. When you got little kids, you're making sure to get a bottle of water. You want to make sure that nobody's thirsty. Do you make sure that you get enough water? Probably not, no offense, but like most adults don't drink enough water. You would make sure that they got enough fruits and vegetables. You would make sure that they were being nourished, not just fed, but actually nourished. Do you nourish yourself, or do you just feed yourself? There's a big difference. You would make sure that they got a bath. You would make sure that they got outside, that they got some sunshine. You would make sure that they got some activity, even that they got some socialization. You'd probably take them to the park at least a couple times, make sure that they got some socialization. You'd probably read to them. Do you do any of these things for yourselves? That's what self-love is. That's what real self-love is. You would also make sure that they don't get too much of the things that are detrimental. You would make sure that they didn't get too much screen time. And yeah, you're going to make sure they get activity, that they're going to move their body, but you're going to make sure that they don't get too much activity, right? Because that's going to zap them. They're going to be exhausted. You're going to make sure that they get some socialization because that's important, but you're going to make sure that they don't get too much socialization because that's also exhausting and depleting. You're going to make sure that they don't get too much junk food. You don't want them to feel bad, and you don't want to poison these little kids that you're taking care of. Do you make sure that you do the same things for yourself? The self-love card is saying, like, really love yourself. And that's going to help you show up in your truth. That's going to help you speak from the heart, show up in your lights. I think that's a beautiful message for you. For all of us, really, it doesn't matter where Cancer falls in your chart. We all have Cancer somewhere in our chart. So I feel like this is applicable to all of us for sure. What will help the Cancer Collective to align with their highest path, purpose, timeline, and destiny in the month ahead, please? Now I will go through, I'll pull a couple more cards here, but after that, I will go through and clarify all of these cards in the extended reading. In the extended, I'm also going to be pulling a card from the Raise Your Vibration Oracle by Kyle Gray, as well as the Wisdom of the Elders by Sean Leonard. I was feeling really called to pull that deck this month for sure. And if you join the extended reading, you also get access to the Sacred Self-Empowered Community membership. That's a membership on the school platform. We meet at least twice a month on Zoom. We've got a beautiful community of soul sisters. I absolutely love the Sacred Self-Empowered Community membership. There's lots of bonuses for being in there as well. And we're quite active. There's people making posts every single day. And I really love our soul family. And I love those group coaching calls as well. We do the shamanic healing once a month, and that's so important. That's so important to really look at, what are these wounds that are causing you not to be able to speak your truth? What are these wounds that are causing us to be reactive rather than responsive? And then in the group readings, it's a great chance to get some one-on-one time together as well. If you have specific questions, we can clarify them with cards or with pendulum. So you can find the link to join that down below in the comments, along with all of my other offerings, one-on-one shamanic healing sessions, retreats, and my 12-week program, Muscles, Macros, Mindset, Rebirth. It blends my previous history of being an online coach, a macro coach, bodybuilder, with shamanism and shamanic healing, because no diet or workout program will ever work long-term if we're not healing from the wounds that caused us not to love ourselves and love our bodies in the first place. So if you want to take a peek at any of those offerings are an invitation. Let's see what is your energy to help you align with your highest path, purpose, timeline, and destiny in the month ahead, please, for the Cancer Collective. I've got 2 messages here for you too. Number 1 is rejoicing, okay? Oh, and reconciliation. Okay. So this relationship, this difficult situation you're going through with this relationship, number 1, I feel like it's salvageable, okay? So when you speak up, it's like you need to create that boundary, because the relationship is worth saving, but your boundaries are not to be broken. It's like, yes, this relationship is worth saving, but new boundaries need to be made here. You deserve better. You deserve to be treated better. The relationship can be saved, but you deserve to be able to speak your truth and stand in your light. You'll have to let me know if you're resonating with this. What is this relationship? Again, I feel like for a lot of you, it will be a partner, but for some of you, it could even be parents, siblings, friends, neighbors, coworkers. There's a relationship that seems to be bothering you, and this relationship is worth saving, but you've got to be able to speak your truth. You're getting rejoicing as well. The rejoicing card comes in as a celebration. Like, you have learned that you are co-creating your life with the universe. If you're having conflict with another person, it's because you've got conflict within yourself. And this self-awareness, you've been doing the work, Cancer. This self-awareness comes from healing those wounds. And, anybody who's on this path knows we're going to be healing for the rest of our lives. But it feels to me like you've made some major progress in the last little while. That's a beautiful energy that's coming through here at the end of the reading. Now, if this reading is speaking to you so far, please do let me know down below in the comments. Like this video, you guys know how the algorithm works. The more people who like the video, the more people who will see it. The more people who see it, the more likely I am to show up for the next ones. And if you're new to the channel, you're new to my energy, and you're feeling my energy, please do consider subscribing to the channel. It's a great way to support the channel for free. So I really appreciate everyone who has subscribed and shared and all that jazz. Let's get one final message for the Cancer Collective for the month ahead here. Spirit. Now, we have some really incredible cosmic events coming up this month. Be mindful of the full moon that's coming up at the beginning of the month, the eclipse that's happening, the new moon eclipse that's happening, the Chinese New Year, the year of the fire horse coming in. Lots of opportunities, forward momentum. Can you guys hear those little chicks? They're so cute. I don't know if you can hear it or not. I tried to adjust the settings so you wouldn't hear it, but you never know. It could come through the microphone here. Final messages for the Cancer Collective in the month ahead, please. Hey, I'm getting old soul. Cancer, I'm probably not the first person to tell you that you're an old soul. What I love so much about the old soul card is it's bookending this message of heavenly helpers that we got at the beginning. And the old soul card says that you have lived many lifetimes and you have gained wisdom beyond your years. When the old soul card comes in, it's a reminder that you have access to all of the wisdom, all of the medicine that you gained, all of the karma, all of the lessons that you learned in your past lives. And you can access those lessons. So you don't have to be going through these karmic events, because sometimes you've already gone through them in a past life. You don't have to repeat these lessons, because sometimes you've already gone through these lessons in past lives. Perhaps you are somebody who is a healer, an intuitive, and if you're not in touch with your intuitive gifts yet, this is saying, hey, you were maybe a shaman in a past life. Maybe you were a mystic. Maybe you were a healer. Maybe you were a psychic medium. You have access to all of those gifts right now. Science and spirituality have already come together in physics to agree that everything is happening at the exact same time. So what happened when we were 2 years old, and what is going to happen when we're 82 years old, and what happened in our last lifetime, in our lifetime before that, in our lifetime before that, is all happening at the exact same time. So when we can go into the quantum field, when we can go into a meditation, a shamanic journey, we can access that version of us, and we can access those gifts. And those gifts are required right now as a part of your journey, Cancer. So access them. Our intuition is just like any other muscle. The more we use it, the stronger it gets. Our intuitive gifts are just like any other muscle. The more we use them, the stronger they get. But just like any other muscle, if we don't use it, we're going to lose it, right? Muscle begins to atrophy after we hit our 30s. Sorry to be the bearer of bad news here, people. But if you're not doing something to actively change that, then we're going to be losing muscle until we say hello to the ground, you know? And our intuition is the exact same way. So many of us have been so disconnected from our intuitive gifts for so long that it's really hard to access them. But this old soul card is saying you can access your intuitive gifts, not only the ones that you have access to in this lifetime, but in past lives as well. Gemini, I do hope to see you over on the extended reading. You can find the link to join us down below.